in Seattle with a good mindset. We rewatched the game. We went through a lot of details of the game. I think that there's a lot to take in the first 60 minutes. Then in the last 30 minutes, we were a little bit afraid maybe of losing or not getting a result after everything we did. So I think we could have done a better job with our possession in the second half, and sometimes we were able to push the lines a little bit higher, but we backed off a lot. So these are things that we rewatched as a team. But of course, that the first 60 minutes gives us a lot of tools and clips to help us move forward and keep growing as a team.
There probably wasn't a lot of people expected you to get a result at the weekend, but it was the same for Dallas as well. I don't think too many folk expected them to get past New England. Tough proposition ahead on Sunday. All their points this season's come at home. They're unbeaten at home. Ricardo Pepi seems in a rich vein of form. What exactly are you expecting from them?
Yeah, I think the same little dose of confidence that they got in their last game, we also got in our last game. The difference is that they've been able to play home games with fans and being in their stadium, and we haven't. But I think we've been learning a lot on what it takes and what are the little details that would give you a chance to win and to get points away from home. That's our reality right now. All our games are pretty much being played on the road. After Dallas, there's the Salt Lake game in Salt Lake that is one home game for us, but it's not. And then there's another game right after. So what we have to do is really focus on the little details that allow you to get points away. And we know that the problems that Dallas give are very different than the ones of Seattle. What I heard after the game is a lot of comments that Dallas is or Salt Lake are winnable games. What I believe is that in MLS, the first against the last is a winnable game and a losable game. And every game in MLS, every game are winnable and every game are losable. You have to get in every game, though, with the right mindset, the right focus and organization to succeed.
Just one last quick one from me. You're losing Cava and Max to Canada. I know you want your guys to go and represent their country, but is there also a sense of relief that it's just the two guys you're losing for a really hectic July schedule?
I I um I want to be careful with this so I don't get fined, because I'm a little bit too honest with things sometimes, but
Yeah.
I don't want to change at the same time. It's who I am. I it 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 bothers me, and I call it a little bit something that I can't say, but you know what I'm calling the situation when you play during a competition that is international competition. I know it's North America. I know it's MLS. I know it's hard to do a schedule that pleases everybody, but it's not good. No, it's not good. It's not good for the clubs. It's not good for the show. MLS games, each one of your players should be available if it's not for injury or if it's not for suspension. To lose players because your national team is playing while you're playing a club at the club level, I think we have to get to the next level as a continent, and as a league. CONCACAF has to get to the next level to try to organize things in a different way. I have
Right.
an opinion on that, a big opinion that I don't want to share right now, but maybe one day I could talk to you about it and tell you what's my opinion on it or how I would see it. But I want to be careful. That's what I have to say on Max and Cava leaving. I know it happens with other teams, but it shouldn't happen with other teams either. Every team should have all their players available to play. And that part I'm disappointed, but at the same time, it opens the door for other players, opportunity for other players to answer, other players to get in and show what they could do to help the team. And that's how I see it.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate your honesty as always.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Over to Corey Basso, please.
Mark, thanks for joining us again today. Michael, thank you for stealing all of my first three questions. So, Mark, I just wanted to ask about some player availabilities with regards to injury. Obviously, Andy Rose, you said, had a bit of a groin tweak coming off last weekend. Kyle looked a little bit battered. You had Gaspar, Nerwinski, Javane Brown all out. Are any of those guys? And you sounded positive about Javane, but are any of those guys going to be available for Sunday?
Jake Nerwinski and Javane Brown are going to be available. Andy Rose and Dajome have started the process of reintegration and training. It looks like they're going in the right direction. It looks like it's going in the right direction. Baldi is still questionable. We're still not sure about Baldi, but it's still a possibility for Sunday. No, Caio was only dying physically for the work he put in, or even Rusty, it was dying physically for the work, and Daber, but these are all guys that are available. But I would tell you that the biggest question mark that I would have right now would be Baldi, unfortunately.
And just with regards to the guys going away to the Gold Cup, Mark, is it not safe to assume, obviously things change during training and what you see in the output of the guys, but is it looking like Hasal will probably pick up for Max and Brian White for Cavallini?
It's a possibility, yes.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Thanks, Corey. And just a reminder that both Max Crepeau and Cavallini will be available on Sunday. Over to Joshua, please.
No, they won't. They won't. Don't lie, Nathan.
Crepeau and Cavallini are not available on Sunday?
No, they're available on Sunday. I
That's
heard
what I
they were
said.
leaving on Sunday. Oh, okay.
They're
No,
leaving on Monday.
they're available. So they're available on Sunday. And sorry, I didn't hear you well. And they leave on Monday. So they're going to spend the night in Dallas and join the national team on Monday morning.
Now that we got that all cleared, Joshua, please.
Thank you, Nathan.
If Michael stole Corey's questions, he stole mine. So if I could just get the mood of the team after the 2-2 draw against Seattle in training this week so far.
Yeah, look, we're not a team that looks at our circumstances and where we are right now. We're looking at the big picture, and we're looking at the little things that make us believe that we're gonna grow as a team. If you look at the game again in Seattle, I think the difference between the game in Seattle and the game in Minnesota is that we were able to get out of Seattle with points. We should have gotten out of Minnesota with points, or if the LA Galaxy game with points. So there was a frustration that in the end of the games, we were not able to make the plays that would allow us to get out with points. And in Seattle, we made the plays in the end of the game that allowed us to be in a position where we get out of that stadium with points. We were a little bit lucky in that ball that crossed our 6-yard box in injury time. But at the same time, I don't know, Josh, if you had the chance to watch the chance that Dajo has in the back post in the second half. That would make it 3-1 for us. And we were a little bit unlucky of not doing the 3-1 in that action. But the mood of the guys, it's that we're able to see a lot of the positive things we did and go to Seattle and get a result, and even being close to win the game allows us to attack the same game, the next game, with a very positive mindset. And training has been good, the mentality has been good, and we have to bring it to a difficult place called Dallas.
Well, Mark, that brings me to another question. I mean, I tweeted out, it seems like the team has walked under a ladder that fell on a bunch of mirrors while black cats were walking behind the team. You know, you mentioned the difference. What does it come down to? What is the difference for the team to get over that one little thing, to make it 3-1, to not give up that goal on a throw-in?
Josh, I hate talking about luck, because I know we speak about that in sports, and of course there's moments that you're on the bench and you say, how didn't this ball go in? And now they go to your side, and out of nothing they score a goal, and then you call that luck. Um, but we try to stay away from that. And what we did in training, since those games against the Galaxy in Seattle, what we did in training, we recreate situations at the end of training when the players are really tired of a set play or corner kick or a free kick or two throw-ins in the box. And we've created a competition sheet where there's exercises that the team that wins gets points, 1 point or 3 points, and then the three players with more points at the end of the 2 months of work get something. So we're trying to create in the locker room, in training, in situations, things that allow us always to be at the edge, always ready. But I learned with one thing with soccer is that you could work 100 situations in training, and then that one situation in the game is a goal, while in training it never was. You heard a lot of stories of players training penalty shots, example, before a playoff game, and in training they score all their penalty shots, and then they go to a playoff game, overtime, they go to the penalty spot and they miss. Every situation in the game is very unique and very different, but you need to have players on the field that their maturity, their experience, what they lived in other games, allow them to understand the time that they're in the game, what's going on, level of focus needed to do plays that allow you to get out with 1 point or 3 points. And we haven't done that enough. And it was good to do it in Seattle. Even the guys that came on, if you look at Brian White, he came on and he cleared two balls in the air, and Pat Metcalf had two plays to allow us to stay away from our box. Little things like that, that the sum of the parts allow you to get out of the game with points.
Mark, that's a fantastic insight for us who don't get to see training right now as you guys are down in Utah. So thank you very much for
What's
that
bad
answer.
about you guys not being in training is sometimes you think that a player is in a very good moment that he's not, and you cannot see it. And sometimes you guys maybe doubt about a player, but that player's been fantastic in training, but that you cannot see. So trust me, nobody wants to go back to Vancouver more than I do. And even if sometimes you guys are good, you're needed in training, and we all miss you guys next to us in training, trust me.
Well, I try not to ask stupid training questions, just stupid number 10 questions. So I will pass it on. Thanks very much, Mark.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Josh.
Outstanding, Josh. Over to you, Jammer, please.
Hi, Mark. We miss you too.
Good. We all miss each other. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a circle of missing each other. I want to ask about Dallas specifically. What is it about Dallas that makes them dangerous? And what do you have to watch out for come Sunday?
Yeah, look, they have tactically, they're very, I don't have the word in English for that, but there's a lot of rotation tactically in what they do. They unpredictable. They've been playing with a back three, and sometimes in a 3-5-2, sometimes with a defensive triangle in the midfield, sometimes with an offensive triangle in the midfield, a 4-2-3-1. They've changed inside the game. I think they're also looking or searching for what's the best for them right now. They made some changes in their roster. So those changes, probably Lucci is trying to also figure out what's the best approach with the players that he has. So that becomes a little bit unpredictable. It's very important that we focus on who are the individuals that could hurt us. It's a fast team wide. It's a fast team in transition. Um, and who are the guys that could hurt you in those moments? It's important we're very aware of that. But it's also very important that we believe in what we're doing and we believe in um, what is the best thing for us as a team and focus on what we have to do as a team and not play the game only thinking about what Dallas is going to do. Dallas also has to be concerned with our weapons and with what we could do and how we going to hurt them. But every game in MLS, like I told the guys, every game is winnable and every game is losable. It's the only, I remember telling the guys before Seattle that what happened in the last 5 games is not important when the ref whistles the beginning of the game in Seattle. So it's the same thing in Dallas. What happened in Seattle stayed in Seattle, and now everything in Dallas is going to be different, and we have to play the game with very high levels of concentration.
Important is that kind of fresh sheet, the fresh slate when you go into every game right now. How important is it to be able to wipe everything clean and start fresh?
But that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We don't spend time crying. I think that's what's been impressive in the locker room and with the guys that we have. It's not a room that you have players crying and players pointing fingers. And even when we do video sessions, we try to find solutions and we work it on the field, and the mindset and the reaction of the guys has been always good, and that's what allows you to move on. That white sheet in life is important. When you mess up in anything in life, it's not important. You waste a lot of time with grudges or thinking too much about what you didn't do, and we correct mistakes. We look at what happened in the last game. We want to be in a different position. We want to move higher in the standings. That's what we're focused on, and we're not focused on what happened yesterday, but we're always looking forward.
So we've got you're already done 10 games in the season. How are you feeling about where this group is at, and where are you seeing areas for growth?
Yeah, you know, the areas of growth that I feel with the team is we have to keep working on the model that we've been doing lately and stick to it. But I also have a huge belief that if we're able to have the additions that I think we're gonna have, that's gonna allow us to grow as a team. Because the reality is that there are players that are not here or were supposed to be here that we know they're gonna add to the team. And it's important that the locker room always has fresh energy, fresh legs, different options. We grow with the work in training, and we grow with the additions in the roster, and we're focusing on both right now. So there's things that if I think A, B, and C are gonna arrive, it's gonna allow us to grow in some areas that right now we struggle a little bit with. But right now I just want to focus on the guys that are here and keep growing from the last game against Seattle. I'm gonna give you 2 examples. We could grow that the quality of our ball possession in the first half could improve in the second half again. So instead of having that quality during 55 minutes, we could push it to 65, 75, 80 minutes. And then the type of pressure in our block in the second half for me was a little bit too low. We could grow on pushing those lines up. And that's things that we could work right now with everybody that's been involved in the game against Seattle.
Fabulous. I look forward to hearing about additions A, B, and C.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marc.
Thanks, Gemma. Alex, please.
Hey, Mark, hope you're doing well. Just one for me today. I was just going to ask about Christian Gutierrez. I just want to know how the conversations with John Herdman went, and if your team's fullback depth right now played any role in him staying home from the Gold Cup roster.
Alex Christian for me was one of our best players against Seattle. I think he did an incredible. Roldan created a lot of problems to every team uh, during the previous matches, and we were very aware of that, especially when Seattle is able to switch the play from left to right, and then when they isolate Roldan and he's able to find his brother in the pocket, uh, it created a lot of problems to a lot of teams, and I think Guti helped him well. I think David helped well. Those three guys on the left side, they helped each other a lot, and he had a very good game. Now I know John has a lot of options there. Also, he has a player that is one of the best in the world in that position. It's weird sometimes to say that when you live in Canada and your national team is Canada, but maybe Canada is going towards a level where we could start talking like that. And one of the left backs, or if John's gonna play him as a left wing or left back, I don't know, is one of the best in that position in the world. And then you have other players also that are options there. So the conversations with John are daily, are very direct. There's a lot of transparency between me and John. We talk a lot, and it's very direct. So he was on hold, Guti, for the Gold Cup. John decided to go with other players right now, and Guti is okay with that. He just wants to give his best every day, and next time he's gonna get another chance, he's gonna go and do his best over there.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Alex. And we'll finish up with Corey, please.
Thanks, Mark. Just one for me here. I was just looking at your previous records against Dallas. You played them twice in your inaugural season. You beat them once, and you drew them once. They were supposed to be in your group last year for the MLS's back tournament, but the pandemic took them out of it. You haven't met them in a competitive fixture for almost 2 years now. Does that make preparation any different? I know your video analysis will be bang on, but not having faced the live team in front of your eyes in 2 years, does that change anything?
The schedule is weird because of the pandemic, right? We only play in the West, and pretty much, and we have our own group in the West, and the schedule has been like that since MLS is back. So of course, it's for me the toughest one, in my opinion. The most quality teams are in there when it comes to Seattle, Portland, LAFC, LA Galaxy. It's the best teams for me right now. The most difficult ones to play, and teams like Dallas, like San Jose, doesn't change. It's all difficult games, and we're ready for them, and we're gonna be ready for them. Those games don't count anymore. Many of those players are not there anymore. So, Corey, we're preparing this game with time. We're gonna be very aware of their strengths and weaknesses. We're watching them. We're sharing clips with the players that we start today, and we're gonna be ready. We're in the same boat as Dallas when it comes to that.
Thank you, Mark. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much, Mark, for your time this afternoon. To all the media, we miss you much. Talk soon.
Thank you. Nice talk.